Hi, everyone. Welcome to Michelle and the Money. This is all about your money from consumer to business news in the bi-state. Survivors of the May 16 tornado in North St. Louis got help in applying for much needed assistance. This is the 314 Oasis Happy Hour at Fountain Park. And the group says about 5,000 private property owners still have yet to apply for the $50,000 lifeline for the city's private property assistance program.
The community is still it's still in big need. A lot of people still have problems with their basic needs. This is just another opportunity to make sure that the resources that were given by the government to help people actually get to the people.
Now, the deadline to apply was recently pushed back 2 weeks to February 28th. Another resource fair will be held February 17th from 5:30 until 8 o'clock at the O'Fallon Park Rec Complex. We do have a link to apply on KSDK.com. Data centers are front and center in several communities, and this week St. Charles leaders hit pause on a plan that could lead to a permanent ban on data centers. The Planning and Zoning Commission chose to hold off on zoning changes that would formally block the facilities citywide. A temporary one-year ban was also put in place since August. Now, staff presented new language to clearly define data centers and to make sure they are not treated like warehouses, while also proposing they not be listed as an allowed land use. Residents spoke on both sides before the commission decided to wait.
Bans send signals. A permanent ban sends a signal that says, hey, we're not here just to deal with impacts. We're actually saying, don't come to our region and don't knock on the door.
The moratorium was very forward thinking. It is exactly the message that we want to send to other communities.
The commission says it also wants another couple of months before making a decision to send a ban to the full city council for a final say. And at the Festus City Council meeting this week, a community group delivered a petition of more than 1,400 signatures demanding decisions on data centers be put on the ballot. Now, the council did not say how it will address those demands. The city of St. Louis is laying out its plan on how data centers should be regulated. We know that neighbors weighed in during a public discussion at the Planning and Zoning meeting this week. The city's plan defines data centers in different types. So micro data centers now has the power demand less than 5 megawatts. Standard data centers has a maximum power demand of more than 5 megawatts, but less than 75 megawatts. And then these large load data centers are classified as having more power of demand of 75 megawatts or more. Now, city leaders say this is the way of the future, but not everybody is on board.
So we're trying to strike the right balance, right? We want St. Louis to be open for business, but we also want it to be open for business on our terms.
I want this city to be livable as I age. I want my 74-year-old mom to be able to stay here. I'm having trouble affording my utility bills.
You can still weigh in. The city says public comment is still open and will be taken into consideration as they make more drafts of the data center zoning code. Well, a boom in data centers could drive utility rates even higher at a time when your electric bill is already at a breaking point. A single data center campus can consume as much energy as an entire city, and that kind of load requires massive upgrades, forcing utilities to pour billions of dollars into the grid to deliver the power. 5 on your side's Laura Barczewski investigates the data divide and who really pays for the price of big data.
Missouri's data center boom is unprecedented. 58 data centers across the state and counting. Here in St. Louis, there are 19 small-scale data centers that don't require major energy infrastructure investment. A much bigger power drain is happening in Kansas City, 31 sites, including a 33-acre campus for Meta and bigger sites on the way.
There are facilities in development now that will use 2 gigawatts of electricity. And to put that in context, the largest nuclear reactor we have in this country produces about 1 gigawatt.
Upgrades critics fear residents will get stuck paying for. Consumers Council Missouri Attorney John Kaufman says in Missouri, Ameren rate increases are nothing new.
The electric rate increases are what's driving the general inflation that we're experiencing here in Missouri and in the country.
And then there's costs.
Ari Pesco, the director of the Harvard Electricity Law Initiative, studies the fast-growing industry.
There's a risk that the utility spends a lot of money and then there's no data center ever here to pay for that. But there are upgrades across its system that the utility may make to serve that data center. And that's where things often get spread across to everyone.
And with progress comes efforts to protect the public's interest. In 2025, the Missouri Public Service Commission put in a rate tariff for Ameren, Missouri, outlining rules for large users like data centers.
These customers have to pay 100% of the direct interconnection costs, anything really associated with connecting them to our network.
Ameren's James O'Mara says as part of the contract, large users have to pay 2 years' worth of bills up front, pay 80% of their minimum demand charges whether they use the energy or not, and they can't receive discounts from the utility.
In the event that customers have to terminate, there's provisions that outline notices they have to provide and any financial obligation due to ensure that we're made whole from that contract.
Last year, the Missouri legislature passed Senate Bill 4. While addressing some issues with large-scale data centers, Kaufman argues it doesn't protect consumers.
So our worry is that residential customers, ordinary households, will be paying in advance for a power plant to serve a data center even before the data center comes.
That portion of the new law is called Construction Work in Progress. In a statement following our interview, Ameren said it does not have any projects currently with the Missouri Public Service Commission seeking CWIP. The Consumer Council also filed for a rehearing of the tariff, which was denied by the Public Service Commission.
The orders that we've seen come out of the Public Service Commission seem to prioritize economic development.
Still, Ameren is confident big data will pay up.
We're really proud of the result to ensure that these customers pay their fair share of connecting to the grid.
Others believe there's still a chance residents will bear some of the burden.
In this case, we don't really know because of the secrecy involved.
Now, the City of Warrenton's Board of Aldermen approved a data center near I-70 late last month, but as we've been mentioning, there are proposals happening all over the region. Governor J.B. Pritzker from Illinois came to the Metro East this week to promote a new economic tool, but the questions quickly turned to leverage, competition, and the future of professional sports in Illinois. The governor is backing an expansion of STAR bonds, which use future sales tax revenue to pay for major development projects now. The current Illinois law bars using those funds to build stadiums, but with Kansas luring the Chiefs and the Bears weighing a move to Indiana, Pritzker was pressed on how far Illinois is willing to go.
I never take anything as if it's a bluff. I mean, I'm always concerned about making sure that we're attracting businesses or keeping businesses in the state of Illinois. So we're in consistent conversation with the Chicago Bears, have been, by the way, for, I don't know, a year and a half or 2 years.
Pritzker says STAR bonds are not meant for stadiums, but he made clear Illinois is watching closely and willing to negotiate as teams weigh their options across state lines. Some St. Louis County services will soon be cut. In December, the County Council cut millions of dollars across multiple departments. Now, as a result of this, the West County Government Center will shut down at the end of the month. County offices at the Clayton headquarters, Northwest Crossing, and in South County will remain open. However, starting Tuesday, they will now close at 3:30 in the afternoon. The county is also not opening the pools this summer at the St. Vincent Community Center or at the Kennedy Recreation Complex. Well, nearly 150 Hazelwood workers will soon be without a job. Community Wholesale Tires in Hazelwood is shutting down its facilities on Purcell Road and Aviator Drive. Layoffs will begin on April 10th. Now, according to the company's website, it has been around for more than 90 years and also has locations in Springfield, Kansas City, Peoria, Illinois, and Cedar Rapids, Iowa. A popular taco restaurant in St. Charles will soon get a brand new look. Session Taco will close on Friday and work will begin to update the space. Updates will include an expanded menu, more seating, and updates to the interior. It will also reflect a Sombra Mesa, which is a relaxing space for family and friends to come together. The restaurant says this location will be closed for at least a couple of months. Grocery prices are as high as they've ever been, up more than 28% since 2020. And now a local group is stepping in to help by offering free groceries all across the city and also by asking you to help by fighting food waste.
Are we ready to call the numbers?
This is not a food pantry.
First round, 1 bag.
This might be a food revolution.
5! Everybody with 5, line up.
It's known as the All Hands on Deck STL Food Share.
Good morning. One for you.
It operates 6 days a week at different locations, both in and out of the elements.
We in like Flynn now. I like the crowd because you
get a lot of positive energy.
It welcomes all walks of life and all levels of privilege.
Everybody needs food.
I got some cheddar curds. It's good food, good food. It would be thrown away.
And making it about fighting food waste is also a way to connect more people.
I see you at Tiggs and other places.
The food share is run by Amir Tibbs, who works as a city food inspector by day.
25% of food in America is wasted. The food that we cook, the food that we purchase, everybody knows that we're wasting food. Having the opportunity to rescue food and to give it out to the community, it just helps complete that circle.
From meat to flowers to sweets and fresh produce, food from more than 10 area stores in abundance. Some you'll even recognize from more expensive big box stores. It's all doable under the federal Good Samaritan Act, which allows stores to donate in good faith to nonprofits. They just don't typically advertise it.
We're same day. The food that you saw go out on the share tables was picked up this morning.
You can come through one time, you pick one thing off of each table. Then if it's anything left, you get back in line and come through again till everything is gone.
This is so much different than just a pantry where you pick up a box and we say, oh, pop your trunk, we're going to give you some peanut butter. Yet your children might be allergic to peanut butter, to peanuts. At the share, you can go through the line and you pick what you want and you leave the rest to share with the rest of the community.
From church groups to seniors and families, anyone is encouraged to come because wages are simply not keeping up with inflation.
How much money you make does not determine how food secure you are. You may have costly medicines, daycare. There's so many other costs, especially these days.
These pantries are going to save our life one day.
A real solution when all else fails.
Look at all the good stuff.
Coming together where common sense and community meet. Now, the group, All Hands on Deck STL, hosts these shares every day except Tuesdays, and we have their monthly calendar posted under the As Seen on TV section of KSDK.com. We have an important recall alert for those who drive older vehicles. Chrysler is issuing a do not drive warning to vehicles with unrepaired Takata airbags. These airbags were also in Dodge, Jeep, and Ram vehicles. The airbags are known to explode when deployed in a crash. Hundreds have been injured or even killed. Consumer leaders say about 225,000 U.S. vehicles are unrepaired. And if you have an older model vehicle, call your dealership to see if you have that recall. Last year, a Consumer Reports investigation found concerning levels of lead in some really popular protein powders, raising big questions for millions of people who use them every day. And now Consumer Reports is back with new lab tests on more popular brands, and what they found could matter to anyone who uses these supplements. Last fall, Consumer Reports tested dozens of protein powders and ready-to-drink shakes. What the lab found raised red flags. More than 2/3 contain more lead in one serving than CR's food safety experts say is safe in a full day.
Our previous protein powder investigation prompted a crazy wave of reactions and concerns from readers. One of the most common responses we got was questions from readers asking, what about all the other protein powders out there?
This time, researchers tested 5 reader-requested chocolate protein powders: Clean Simple Eats, Equate from Walmart, Premier Protein, Ritual, and Truvani. The results were notably different. All 5 powders came back with low levels of lead. According to CR's threshold, these powders are safe for daily or near daily consumption. On average, these powders also had lower levels of lead and arsenic than the products CR tested in its earlier investigation. But the testing also raises questions about why so many other protein powders still contain higher levels of heavy metals.
There are no federal limits for lead in protein powder. And while the FDA requires that manufacturers keep their products free of harmful contaminants, it is largely up to the companies themselves to determine what counts as harmful and to determine how often to test.
Nutritionists say most of us don't need protein supplements at all. Foods like beans, tofu, eggs, dairy, fish, and lean meats can cover your protein needs. But if you rely on powders, Consumer Reports says don't assume healthy means risk-free. Their advice? Be cautious and consider using protein powder only occasionally. And Consumer Reports says while many people focus on protein, it is really fiber that most adults are missing. The Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics recommends about 25 grams for women, 38 grams for men, depending on age and some other factors. To read the company's responses to this investigation, you can visit ksdk.com. Also, a company that makes weight loss drugs is suing over knockoff versions. Novo Nordisk makes the popular drugs Ozempic and Wegovy. It is suing telehealth provider Hims & Hers for selling copies of Wegovy pills and injections. Novo Nordisk is asking a court to recover damages and then ban Hims & Hers from selling versions of the drugs. Hims & Hers said it would stop offering the pill after threats from the FDA and Novo Nordisk. Hims & Hers also criticized the lawsuit, saying that it could limit patient access. A landmark case is underway against two of tech's titans, Meta and YouTube, and it could have major implications for social media and pending lawsuits. The case centers around now 20-year-old Kaylee, who accuses Meta and YouTube of intentionally developing addictive platforms that caused her body dysmorphia, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts after she started using those platforms in early childhood. For years, parents, health experts, and whistleblowers like Frances Haugen, formerly of Facebook, have called for more accountability and guardrails to protect young users.
For years, these companies have refused to take responsibility for any kind of harm. It makes perfect sense that the playbook would be to blame the victim.
YouTube and Meta have both denied the allegations in the lawsuit. Meta's attorney argued in opening statements that a difficult childhood and bullying led to issues with Kaylee and not social media use. The outcome of this trial could have major impacts, with around 1,500 similar lawsuits pending against social media companies. Well, Valentine's Day is more expensive than ever, from the cost of chocolate and gold to even going out to dinner. But the high cost of love does not have to ruin the day. Liz Sensi from the St. Louis Fed Economy Museum is here to help us out. Thank you so much for being here.
Morning. Thank you for having me.
It's great to see you. And I love your shirt.
Thank you. Figured I'd rep for Valentine's Day.
Yes, perfect timing. Okay, so I know that you've written about this, that on the blog, that even the cost of cacao beans,
yes,
insanely expensive.
45% in the last year or so. They've gone up. Yeah, so it's very expensive. If you're a chocolate lover like I am,
yes,
that means that you're investing a lot in your chocolate, but then how do you invest in your beau and your family after you've had all that delicious chocolate?
I know, it's just like you're gonna get a little nib. That's all that we can afford these days.
Exactly. So the best thing to do is set a budget.
Okay.
I know we've talked about this before, but again, just sit down, set that budget.
You really have to reiterate the budget part, because I think, yes, we all hear set a budget, but when you go into details of it, then it really makes some sense for folks. So what are your tips? What are your best tips?
So my best tips are figure out a way that you and your beau want to celebrate together, and then find a way to do that at home. You can go out to restaurants, you can make all those bookings, that'd be really, really fun, but it's also fun to cook together. You can go to the grocery store, choose your meal together, and then actually just cook together with each other. It's a great way to save money.
Yes.
You can also find early sales. We're still far enough away from Valentine's Day where you can catch a couple of sales on either a card, or maybe there's an e-card you want to send your family instead of sending them a physical card. So little tips in that way. So you can still have that chocolate that you want to actually eat with your beau as well.
Well, you know what, I was just thinking of that. Like, if you want to save money, sometimes you can go to like Bissinger's, for example, and they always have kind of like the ugly chocolate.
They do, yeah. The ugly chocolate is at any of the chocolatiers, and it tastes just as great.
Yes,
it just might not look as cute, but that's fine. You can take it home and carve it a little bit.
I'm all for ugly chocolate. I don't care as long as it tastes
good. Exactly.
And you mentioned, and you've mentioned before in the past, but experiences, really, sometimes they cost nothing.
Exactly. So you can look for experiences out in the world that you can go and visit, or you can have those experiences with your family. Maybe you take a day and go to the zoo with each other, or maybe you go to the Arch together and build a new family memory. That's a little bit cheaper than going to dinner.
I'm just curious, do you do family dates? What do you do in your family?
So in our family dates, we like to go out to museums together. I'm kind of a museum nut. So we'll go out to museum together, and then we'll find a local restaurant in that area, and we'll have lunch together there.
That's great. That's great. Okay, so what about if you're trying to find the best price on something? Is there a place that you recommend online to kind of look and compare?
Sure, there are tons of comparison apps. I know that Honey has been mentioned before. Google has a lot of different recommendations that it has now with Google Gemini. You can look for the best prices in your area. I've also found areas of town that I want to go to, gotten on Google Maps, found those areas, and then I've looked up online if they have any coupons or any savings that they might have for Valentine's Day.
Ooh, that's a good one, because sometimes I'll just be like, I'm gonna just say this company and promo code, and you never know. Sometimes you get 20% off.
Right, and with things with Google Autopilot and Launchpad Pro and things like that, you can actually get into those deals quicker using AI, which is a lot of fun. Yeah.
AI for good. AI for good.
You can ask it to build you the most romantic holiday out in St. Louis, and then you can put the budget in there and see what it comes out with. Yeah.
Okay, that's an idea.
Yeah,
I'm
let's
gonna do
try it
that.
and see what we find out.
Oh my gosh. Well, maybe they'll say, okay, maybe the Fed Museum. Maybe that could be
They
something.
will say the Fed Museum. It is free. You can come and visit us. On Valentine's Day, we'll have a scavenger hunt that we will be doing. We've got all of our exhibits that we love. When you find them, you can draw hearts around them, take selfies together. I've got a little piggy bank here to remind us to save our money in our piggy bank, no matter how big or small. Any savings helps.
That is so cute. Okay, so what else is going on with the Fed, by the way? I mean, is there anything else that we're missing since you're here?
In the museum, we are going to be having a Valentine's Day scavenger hunt, and then we also have field trip season. So if you know of any school kids who want to come out and learn about money, financial literacy, how to identify their money and prevent counterfeits, come and see us at the museum. We do field trips all year round, but spring is our busiest time.
Okay, and then what time can we go on Saturday?
So on Saturday we'll be closed.
Oh, sorry, Friday.
On Friday.
Yeah.
On Friday you can come out at 9 a.m. 9 to 3 we're open, Monday to Friday. Saturday you can visit the Arch, which is right down near us. You can come see our building at least. So.
Okay, well, thank you so much for those great tips, and I'm hoping that everyone saves money, because love should be free.
Love should be free, exactly, but save your money.
I know. The dates that I went on, with my husband when we were boyfriend-girlfriend, totally different now, because now my money is your money, so let's save it.
Yep, and let's bring the little ones with us too, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
They've got to have fun too.
Thank you again.
Yeah,
Come back
thank you.
soon.
Absolutely. Cheryl, we'll figure it out.
All right, well, the St. Louis Aquarium is hoping some scorned lovers will spread some love this Valentine's Day to its education and conservation programs. The Love Bites fundraiser is back again this year, and it allows you to buy a veggie, a superworm, or a cricket that will be named after your ex and fed to an animal. The aquarium will even send you a video of your ex being devoured. That fundraiser runs through February 16th. The Bud Light Parade, the Grand Parade, steps off Saturday at 11 a.m. from just south of Busch Stadium. The bees will be flying down Broadway as the parade heads south to the Anheuser-Busch Brewery. We're talking about Mardi Gras, by the way, for everything that you want to know about Soulard Mardi Gras, including parking, rules, and events. Text the word Mardi to 314-425-5355, and we will send you a link straight to your phone. So much going on this weekend. All right, that's going to do it for us. Thanks so much for watching Michelle on the Money. For more money stories like these, be sure to join me every day on Today in St. Louis, starting at 4:30. We're going to see you again next weekend right here on the KSDK app.